John Cougar Mellencamper. He was the first cougar, I think.
Mine's not as impressive as your growl. It's a growl standoff.
Yeah, that's it. Right. As you know, it is one of my favorite times of the week. How are you, doll? Are you good?
I'm so good, Paulie.
So, if you haven't seen it yet, Petra recently shared a really thought-provoking post on a social media called Dear August. It's about more than just turning a page, another page in the calendar. For me, honestly, it was about reflection and permission, slowing down and asking yourself some honest questions. And one particular slide stood out for me. It was the very, very first one about reminding us that it is okay to have fun.
Yes.
And it's got the picture of the doggy and the two paws.
Yes, that's my Tam.
And it's crazy because I look at that and I go, we are so involved, and some of us are self-involved because we've got a lot of stuff going on. But I think the biggest thing is we forget, and I'm very guilty of this, is sometimes, most occasions, we forget to laugh.
We forget to laugh. We forget that we're allowed to have fun because we're so focused on being professional, on being good partners, employees, bosses, whatever the term is.
Yeah.
We need to be proactive in this day and age. We need to have everything together.
Yeah.
So I know I forgot to have fun for many, many years because I was in such doing mode and managing so many things, in my life that there wasn't space or time. I didn't allow it.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It really made me think like I'm very much I'm a 70s, 80s, 90s boy, man. But and there's something to be said, and I think that like I have this shyness towards mantras.
Yes.
I'm like no, guy. Like I've always believed that if you have the capability, and this is, for me, is the other side. If you have the capability to stand in front of the mirror and recite something, you have the same capability to just go out and do it.
And look, the mantras, sometimes it's hearing yourself say it out loud and looking at yourself in the face, which is very uncomfortable for us to say things to ourselves, because then we can't hide underneath it. So really, there is so much power. I know it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, it feels strange. I
think it is the uncomfortability for me.
It is, and it's the hearing ourselves. Yeah. It's hearing our minds commit that to ourselves. And it's not that the mantra alone is going to change your life, because there are actions, changes in your values, your beliefs, your habits that need to completely. But the mantra, like the Dear August reminders, it's just making you, aware and more conscious of what needs to change and what you desire 100%. To call it.
Let's talk about Dear August. What inspired you to write something like that, and what message were you hoping that people are going to take away from this?
So it really just started because August is my birthday, we'll say my birthday month. So it's always the whole entire month. People can wish me and give me gifts right through until the 31st. But it's always...
I'm not sure what to give you.
The gift of your presence, my Paulie.
The presence. That's very funny. Okay.
So yeah, it's always a time that I use. I mean, I check in with myself regularly, but August especially, it's looking at who I've been and who do I choose to step into. So it's kind of a reset for my identity, not to change my whole personality, but look at where I'm going, what hasn't been serving me, who have I involved into, what do I need to release? So it's that reflection moment. So I always ask myself questions.
Yeah.
And I started jotting some things down, and then some of these, the Dear August reminders were for myself, and others were from conversations I have with people, whether it's friends or clients. So that's where I thought, well, let me put this together in the second half of the year. I know people are feeling a lot of feels. We're going through a lot, the economic pinch and just the overwhelm, the stress. So I thought it would be a great opportunity for everyone to take a step back, have a look at this and pick one. I mean, some people pick multiple. Others send me DMs saying, P, must I pick one? Is it going to look bad if I pick more than one?
No.
So pick multiple, but the idea is really to look at the one that really resonates with you the most, because that's the one that is the truest for you. So whether it's an affirmation or a validation of what you're experiencing already, or maybe it's a permission slip, that this is like, oh yes, this is what I need more of. So whatever it becomes for you, it's use it as a light-hearted way to put this out, and let's say put it out into the universe, put it into your subconscious mind, that dear August, this month, this is what I want to call into my life. This is what I want to change. And then, of course, it's supporting it with an action to change it.
You've talked about August being your birthday month, and that's naturally a time for, I think for some people, not a lot of people, I think it's a time for reflection and resetting. Was Dear August written from a personal place this year, or was it more about the reflection of what you're seeing in women who you work with every day?
Both. Definitely both. So not all posts are about me or what I'm going through necessarily. Some are answers to questions or reminders to questions, and kind of like the underlying energy that I've picked up from different conversations. So I've just consolidated that into these posts and images, mine, memories that have just taken me back to somewhere. And then my girls, of course, have to be part of it, because, it's Africanus month. Africanus being the dogs. So that's why I thought perfect to include my monkeys.
And I said something to you, and you didn't correct me as much as you like sort of put it on the right path for me. And we were talking about Jess, and we were talking about my autism. And whenever I say to Jess, I love you, and then she'll say, she's always like, I love you too. And I'm like, you don't get to decide. You have to love me as I am. And she says, no. There's a big difference. I choose to love you every single day, and I choose that. And I'm like, that don't make any sense. But I mean, I get it now.
Yes.
It was very strange. It was quite confronting, actually. I was
very confronting.
So what happens when you wake up and you go, I don't love you anymore? Or am I literally taking it to the extreme?
Look, it never happens just overnight. And again, that's the power and the beauty of co-creationships. And that's with friendships. It's true and real for friendships as well. It's because we treat a relationship as this is who you are and were, and this is who I am and was when we met, and this is how the relationship looks like. There's no allowance for change. There's no allowance for consciously choosing to be with the human, as you put it, as you are. So what Jess is doing, and rightly what you said, she's choosing every single day. And it's so much more powerful and healthier for a relationship when I'm consciously choosing every day versus when I'm living on autopilot. And then in 5 years from now, I'm like, I actually don't love this person anymore. That's when you wake up in the morning.
That's rough, eh?
So the conscious choosing daily is actually where you can make amends, or where you can have the honest, uncomfortable conversation saying, this has changed for me, or what is your perspective on this? Or this is what I've realized that I actually need. How can we figure this out?
That's pretty scary, actually. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty scary. Like, because I think I speak as a universal human being, is that our biggest fear is rejection. Like, I think that, and it's sort of like, my question is, that level of negativity and breathing in and taking in, like, at some point, what does that cost somebody? Does it cost them emotionally, physically? Like, even in a relationship or at work, when they keep carrying everything without ever putting it down?
I mean, there's the physical, emotional, psychological tolls, of course. And then resentment starts creeping in. Even if it's not spoken and we don't want to admit it, there is that underlying level of resentment and maybe entitlement and victimhood where, well, I'm the one doing everything. Why isn't this person doing it as well? Why is it always on me? So that point eventually, and that's just a dysregulated nervous system that's talking by that point. Because when you are capable and competent, you do take on more naturally.
Yes.
Anyway, if we look at the women that are burnt out, overwhelmed, they are the capable ones.
Yes,
they are taking it on. They're the phenomenal, exceptional women. They're like Jess, for example, that can take on so much more. But Jess is very, I've met her, I know her, I've heard from you as well. She's a very conscious human. So she makes choices that support her as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. I didn't do this for many years because it was prioritizing everything and everyone else. And I'm not trying to say this as a victim, look at me. It was a choice that I'd made. Yes. And of course, going through that, which is why I'm so passionate about it. So now, absolutely, because I've had to look at the uncomfortable choices and decisions that I made. And everywhere I didn't choose myself. And by choosing myself doesn't mean not choosing the other person. It's choosing for me within the relationship, the creationship. Where you mentioned there about having the honest conversations and that it's uncomfortable and that rejection is painful, personally and professionally, again, it's where, do we feel like we need to be the best versions of ourselves? That's why we need to do all these things for everyone else, because if we don't, we might be rejected. That's another deep psychological conversation that can happen a lot of times because it's that need to prove. So it's not just this is a good person, but somewhere down the line, I was taught that, and I'm speaking me in air quotes, whoever resonates with this, is that we were taught that in order to be loved or recognized, we need to do more. But then there's that fine line of where it all becomes about prioritizing everyone else and almost deleting ourselves in our lives.
We just exist.
We're not living fulfilled, conscious, joy-filled lives that are meaningful.
You always talk about, like, you somehow ridiculously and talently, you always somehow manage to bring our bodies into these conversations. Why is that connection between the mind and the body so important when it comes to this kind of well-being?
So it's that dysregulated nervous system that I mentioned earlier, is when our bodies are in fight or flight, when they're in overreaction, they're in autopilot to get things done just so we can survive. So they aren't sleeping well, they aren't resting well, they don't have the nourishment that they need. There's no pause, like a motor car. We can't be driving it in fifth gear
and without petrol
all the
or
time.
oil.
Exactly. And sometimes it needs to go into first gear, sometimes it needs to be in park. But we forget that about ourselves as well. So when we're constantly going, our bodies eventually take the toll, and our bodies are what hold the stress, the anxiety. And there was a talk that I saw on social where this guy was saying that, this is all hogwash about our bodies storing the emotions. But if you look at someone that is stressed or not in a good emotional state, look at what their bodies are doing. They're hunched over, they're contracted, they're tense, their hands are probably, in fists. We can see that that's what happens. So that's why the work that I do, the differentiator from a lot of this type of work where you're only dealing with mindset, the transformation that we're able to get through this work is because I bring the body into it.
That's it.
Because you can't out-create your reality just from your mind when your nervous system isn't able to support the changes.
That's it, 100%. You talk a lot about identity, and this goes, how does the way someone see themselves influence what they believe they're capable of changing?
So identity is what we've been talking about the last few weeks, right? Identity in our bodies, our beings, our minds, in business, how we show up in business. So if we don't believe that we deserve it or are worth it, we can say the words, of course I deserve this promotion, or of course I deserve to be happy in a relationship, or of course I deserve to be loved. But if how we're showing up doesn't align with that, then there's a gap somewhere in what we believe or what we used to be or who we used to be and who we desire to step into, the person we desire to become. So there's that gap there. We spoke about it last week.
Chasm.
Yes, the liminal space.
Yes.
So it's the identity part is fundamental, which is what Dear August helps you look at.
Yes.
The 20 slides is it helps you look at, well, what part of my identity of this is true and real for me? Like maybe my part of the identity right now is that I've forgotten how to laugh and have fun. So is that just who I've become, or is it just a transition that I'm going through? But it's knowing that who you are needs to be aligned with how you're showing up.
Sure.
But that is going to require the deep work, the reflection. You can't just say, well, this is who I'm becoming now, and then all of a sudden
if you don't like it, you can lump it.
It's like having your New Year's resolutions, and then in 3 weeks' time, they no longer apply. You've forgotten about it.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. It's having that intention there is futile if it's not supported with the new identity that you want to step into and what that looks like. What are the behaviors, the characteristics, the habits, the traits, and the thoughts that go with that?
I will say, I'm going to say something like, and I have been given in the last year and a bit, I've been given a lot of flack about, you know what, you're a man and you need to stop talking so much about your feelings, and you need to stop being such a ninny, because therapy is not for men.
Wow.
So whatever it is that you're going through, you can deal with it by yourself. And I'm like, dude, let me just tell you what I was like 12 years ago, and what this therapy is supposed to do. It's made me who I am today.
Yeah.
And I am a testament to go, if you put in the work and you talk to yourself every day, and you have the honest conversation, and you have the uncomfortable conversations, and you have the mantras, and you put in the work that you are taught, I promise you, everything's going to be okay.
Whoever's saying that is just not connected with who they truly are. They're living from a facade or a pretense or performative energy in their lives. They'd probably never be able to admit it. But there are the humans that, that looking within is too uncomfortable and too hard. And that's part of the bravery. I had someone say that to me once when I was like, but you know that you can do more. You know that you don't have to live your life like that. And they're like, well, it's uncomfortable looking in the mirror. I'm like, well, that's the whole point.
It's the whole point, dude.
That's the whole point.
Do the work.
But Paulie, just to acknowledge what you do and recognize the courage and the bravery that you have to do this work consistently. You didn't just attend a once-off, male retreat, which there are so many now, which are great. The retreats are great. But you can't just be dipping your toes into retreats all the time. You've got to be doing the work afterwards. You've got to be integrating it. 100%. And I think that's a big difference. There are people that are choosing to do the work, or just kind of dip into a men's retreat or women's retreat, whatever, or spiritual retreat, whatever it is. Yeah. And then, but it's your side of what type of man is willing to even go there, which is then these men that you're talking about, the men that aren't willing to do the therapy, that are seeing it as a weak thing, that are seeing it as, we still have it in corporate, it's called soft skills.
Yeah.
For me, what I try and speak to the CEOs and the execs about is that being a human is not a soft skill.
No.
They've been disregarded. The budgets have been small.
Have you seen the world? We are not
Do
soft.
we see the state that we are in? But these are fundamental to existing, yes, as humans, and being able to contribute in a way in the work that we do, in our performance, in our drive, in our innovation and creativity.
Yep.
We need these skills, which are not soft skills. So any human that is not willing to embrace the soft skill of being a human, the EQ, the IQ, the social
self-awareness,
all of the quadrants, and that's where we find, and it is sad. It's frustrating as well when someone you're speaking to, you can see they're almost a shell of them, their whole as a human, where they're not a whole human. They're just surviving and operating on what worked for them at some point, and that's their identity. That's all they know. And that's scary as well, because it's vulnerable to look at, well, who else am I? That's not just this, because that means that there are parts of me that I don't want to look at.
Sure. Before we get to, for just one thing, we want to obviously watch videos, and we want to go find you and check out this post, as well as all your other stuff. Where do we find you?
So petralaranjo.com is the website. And then on social media, so Instagram, Facebook, Petra Laranjo, and YouTube, where this conversation and all our other conversations live as well. So that will be up tonight. And really, if anyone listening here knows of someone, knows of a woman or a man, our recent conversation now, that is overwhelmed, that is taking on a lot, that is maybe a high achiever, just share this with them.
Yeah. Agreed.
We need to have these conversations, and for women to know that you really are not alone and there's nothing wrong with you.
If someone's listening today and feels like they've spent the first 7 months of the year surviving, what's the one small thing that they can do to start feeling like themselves again?
It's just knowing that it's okay to reset. So not making yourself wrong, because so many times it's, I've wasted so much time, or I should have, would have, didn't.
Yeah.
We can't live in those worlds of shoulds. So it's knowing that it's okay to want something else. It's okay to change tracks.
Yeah.
So I think it's the acknowledgement of you're okay. There's nothing wrong with you. Maybe, yes, you could have made different choices, but your choices don't define you as a human being. And then it's just looking at the reset, either using these cues, these reminders, or something else. But it's saying it's not regarding what has happened, but rather what do I want the rest of the year to look like and feel like? And therefore, what do I need to do or step into or be to make the changes?
That leads me to you set it up as such a great segue. Nicely done. What is the one practical thing that you can leave us with in order to get to that place?
So it's, what is the energy of the life that I want to feel like? So do I want to feel my life as more joy? Actually, I'll use a quick example. I got a message from a friend of mine yesterday saying, there was a restaurant that I was popping into in between meetings, and the way that it worked out, and I was obviously going through whatever phase I was going through, where I was just ordering like a small plate of chips, like, a slap chip, which I don't make at home. So if I'm out, that's what I'm going to have. It was just one of those. I want to be a teenager on those days. And I got a message from this friend yesterday saying, so-and-so, the owner of this place, wants to know when you're popping in for chips. And I'm like, wow, that's a way to be remembered.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I never did I ever think that someone would equate me with chips, but that's how I'm remembered. So it's kind of the same thing here, is what is that energy that you want to feel more of in your life, so that when you're embodying it, and this isn't for others, but if they had to speak about you, that's how you would be remembered. So right now, are people looking at you and saying, oh, Paulie is just a stress ball? Is that how you're being remembered? Because, and again, it's not about the others, but it's, what does it feel for you?
Yeah. Because
if everyone else perceives you as this constant stress ball, is that how you want to show up in your life? And if not, what else do you want to choose?
100%. My friend, it is always a blessing to talk to you.
Likewise, Paulie. Thank you.
If you'd like to connect with Petra, it's petralaranjo.com. It's LARANJO.com.
Yes,
Look at that. We will obviously, other than our sidebar chats, we'll catch up next week, Wednesday.
Yes.
Anything exciting to tease us for next week?
Let's see where this goes. I've had some really great DMs about this topic. And of course, being a Women's Month, the work that I'm doing is about I am, which is the identity again, how we show up for ourselves and in business and for each other. So let's see where the conversations go this week. But if there is something that someone wants to speak about or expand upon specifically, then please WhatsApp. I don't know the number offhand, but WhatsApp you.
084-22-12-919.
There we go.
I learned your surname. You must learn the phone number.
I will learn. 084. 084.
084.
She fails.